start here. I did start on antioxidants, and
Okay.
but I'm a little nervous about those because, as with, it seems like everything in everything in this world, whether it's nutrition or sports or pick your subject, there's two schools of thought, and
Mhm.
it seems like there's a school of thought that says, you know, antioxidant pills uh, can be potentially dangerous, and you should just get all your antioxidants from natural food sources.
Mhm.
So, do you know? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, to me, I mean, if you overdo the antioxidant, especially in a pill format, right, that's such a high concentration, right? For the average person, is that really needed? Unless your diet is totally terrible and you don't eat anything green or red or orange, probably not, quite honestly, right? But at the stress level that you put your body through, antioxidants also help repair damage at the cellular level. So you have more stress on the body. So it's like you can take in more, right? You can handle more of that, just like anything else. Vitamin D, even USA Swimming says your ferritin level should be higher, than the bottom range of what your doc is going to say. Yeah, you're good. This is normal, right? USA Swimming says you need to be at this level to be able to compete and train like you should.
Right.
Right. So it's the same thing with everything else. Your body's just under more physical demands. You can tolerate more.
Now, I've also started on pre-workout,
Mhm.
and I think that's helping. It it feels like maybe I got a little pep in my
Yeah.
stroke.
Okay. What have you
I don't know.
what did you try? What have you gone with?
Well, it's the peak ATP,
Okay.
the
Yeah, oh,
clean
that one.
athlete,
The non-stimulant.
right? So much with nutrition, it's like I think it's helping. I
Hmm.
I mean, it's for me, like I told you, for me, the only thing that I've ever put in my body that I've like definitively been able to say, yes, that helped, is creatine.
Hmm.
Um, but I think peak ATP has been helping a little bit, making me, I don't know, maybe, and it could just all be hopeful, wishful thinking. Um, but and I do feel like the water has been kind of helping to flush. Um, because with this new training that I'm doing in the weight room, I mean, holy F, I mean, it's like doing a race pace set in practice. I'm
Hmm.
just like wiped. I've never collapsed on the floor during gym train lifting
Hmm.
session. Um and this is like exhausting.
Yeah.
Um it's crazy intense. And so I feel like the peak ATP might be helping with that a bit, but I can't say for sure.
That will help with recovery, even if you're doing it before practice, that will put the right amino acids in there to help with recovery. So that's good. I mean, that's a great product. I think it's one of the best things out there on the market. And I love that it doesn't have stimulants in it for people.
Yeah,
So you're not having that caffeine response, which is great.
yeah.
So I always say give things at least a good 60 to 90 days, like give it a good try. And if by the end of that, make an assessment, like this has been a good addition to my routine, or I don't feel like this has. And sometimes you go off of it and realize, oh my gosh, I did miss that. Wow. Yeah, that was actually doing a lot
Yeah.
for. So 60 to 90 days is a really good assessment time to be super
Okay.
diligent, consistent on it, and then, kind of reevaluate. Was this good?
Yeah.
Was it not?
Now, two more questions before we move into the the scheduled programming for the day. Um, on pre-workout.
Hmm.
So one, on race day.
Hmm.
I know last time you said, keep your routine the same and do your pre-workout just as you do.
Hmm.
Do you do pre-workout before warm-up or
Hmm.
before the race?
Yep. So it really depends when your race is going to be, right? If you're coming off a warm up and you're like the first event, right? You
I
probably
always
want
I always put 40 minutes between the two.
Yeah, put 40 minutes. So it really, that's kind of on feel. I've told people there's a couple ways you can go about that. One, if it's pretty early in the morning and you're going to use that to help wake you up and kind of get you up and get you going and get you going to warm up, fantastic. Now, and then if your race is pretty quick, like within 40 minutes, you're probably fine and don't need any more. If you kind of want that a little closer to race, wait till after warm up. I've even had people split it in half and do half and half. So that one's a little bit, there's no real like magic formula there. It's really just experimenting and figuring out how you feel best with that. And that's what I've told some of the college kids I've been working with right now. You know, you have dual meets coming up. This is a great time to experiment with that and kind of take a couple of them to really nail that down. And then you're going to have a routine after, you know, probably 2 or 3 of those dual meets to really figure out how you want to feel. Right. And then it's safe to do another one of those. Let's say you have a, you know, another swim an hour later or something, like somebody's in a college dual meet situation. They have more swims later on, right? Or somebody that has gonna race another event later on. You can do another scoop of that. That's totally fine.
I'm 41 years old. There is no later swim.
Nope.
It's one and done.
One and done. Yep.
The only later swim is warm down.
Finals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and finals, you definitely want to do the same thing then for finals. And the nice thing is there's some caffeine, so it's not going to keep you up at night.
Okay. Is there any science that says how long that pre-workout lasts?
Not to my knowledge. No, we could probably go and look at like the different types of BCAAs and like consumption and how long that helps or how long you're going to feel that effect. But I do think everyone's body's different too. It also depends on how much you slept last night. Do you have enough magnesium in your body? Are you naturally producing enough ATP and now we're just giving you more, or are you already even sort of deficient in your production? So this is just catching you up to where you should be. So there's a lot of factors that come into your body naturally producing in the first place. Right.
Okay.
So everyone's body's, definitely different in that situation.
Okay. And the other question on this was the package of pre-workout. It says, even take on rest days. Is that true, or are they just trying to get me to buy more?
Well, I don't want to say anything Clean Athlete won't like, but no, I honestly, I don't know. You can take it because it's actually, going to put more ATP and BCAAs in your body. And we know that that's branched chain amino acids, building blocks of protein. If that's something that you feel like you can use more of for recovery, you totally can. I personally just have not told people to do it in that way. I've told them to use it just as they're going to weights or workout or racing. I have not told them to use it. Now, creatine, if you're going through the loading process and you're using creatine, you want to be more consistent with that, but in like a true pre-workout situation, in my opinion, I don't believe you totally need that every day.
Okay. Now, here's the hard-hitting question. Is it creatine or creatine?
I'm not an expert on creatine or creatine, but I've always called it creatine. There may be a form called creatine. There's different types, right? There's different like variations. But I've always called it creatine. Maybe it's, you grow up in the North or the South or I don't know what that would be.